Full time, Sydney United have defeated Sharks FC 2-1 in the 20s. Welcome everybody to round 1 of 2025 New South Wales NPL. Good to see you back again. Aim on!
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Welcome to Sydney United Sports Centre, round 1 action of the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Sydney United versus the Sutherland Sharks FC. Sydney United made finals last year, finishing in 6th.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just doing a very special presentation before the game for a couple of players who are doing a very, very special and fantastic, what do we call it? You know, the players who have been here for a very long time, 150 caps. We're giving a presentation to Tarek Maya and Christian Gonzalez. Please give a big round of applause. Also, 200 caps for Captain Adrian Vlastelta and for Patrick Antelmi as well. Please give him a big round of applause. And the man with 350 caps, Mr. Anthony Tomilic. Please give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Great servants of our club. Tarek Maya, Christian Gonzalez, Adrian Vlastelta, Patrick Antelmi and Anthony Tomilic. And they will be running around this season as well. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our players this evening for round 1 of 2025. For our opponents,
welcome
the Sharks,
Sydney
very familiar, in goal, number 1, Daniel Nizic, number 2, Lachlan McDonald, number 6, Mohamed Ahmed, number 7, Peter Grozos, 11, Costa Petrados, 15, Matthew Mordich, 21, Jerry Skidadis, 22, Katara Katsuka, 23, Mason Fernandez,
two sides with plenty to play for in 2025. High ambitions for both sides.
Daniel Wong.
Such a highly anticipated game here.
By Mr. Zordich.
Get to the starting lineup in just a moment. Few changes for both sides.
Number 1 in goal, Tristan Pendergrass. Number 3, Bailey Rule. Number 4, and captain, Adrian Vlastelta. Number 5, Anthony Tomilic. 8, Mario Chabot.
And we're underway. The Sharks and Sydney United at 58 FC get their respective campaigns underway. Plenty of storylines in this match as well, obviously. The big one, the man in the pink
United for the 2025
for the Sharks,
season.
Daniel Nizic, making his return to Adenza Park after a short stint away from the NPL competition. Bit of a slight delay in kickoff there, obviously. Sydney United paying tribute to a few of their most veteran players, and pretty impressive some of the stats that they read out there. A couple 150 gamers, 200 gamers, and a special 350 gamer. Probably one of the most experienced men in this competition, and still young at heart in the middle of the park there for Sydney United. So let's get to the starting lineups. Let's start with the visitors, Steve Zorich. This is his first starting lineup for 2025 in goals, and the newly minted skipper of the side, a great leader in Daniel Nizic. Number 2 is Lachlan McDonald. Number 7, making his official Sharks NPL debut, is Peter Grossos. Alongside him, a fellow debutant, number 11, Costa Petrados. Number 15, Matthew Morich. Number 21, Jerry Skotadis. Number 22 is Kotaro Katsuta. Number 23, Mason Fernandez. Number 26, Jacob Garner. Number 6, Mo Ahmed. And number 58, with plenty of international experience for the Sharks, is Daniel Wong. Leading the line alongside Mason Fernandez. Costa Petrados floating around there as well. It's a pretty lethal front 3 or 4, whichever way you look at it. And the bench for Sutherland, number 3, Jordan Roberts. Number 10, Marky Petrados. Number 14, Dylan Susovic. Sebastian Aranaz. Number 9, Ruben Awaratifi. And number 12, Iko Arimoto. Rounds out the substitutes as Daniel Nizic, with his first goal kick in opposing colours. A few boos around the ground. Not much hatred, if you'd say that, towards the Sydney United NPL great. Had some great days at this ground. Was probably the star of that Australia Cup run all the way to the final, and he loved it. The fans loved him. He loved the fans. So it was always interesting to see what type of response he would get coming back to his old stomping ground. And speaking to a few of the Sydney United players, I think they're going to want to put him under plenty of pressure. So that first corner is going to be one to watch, as Vlas Delica, his head only goes as far as Lachlan McDonald, slipping and sliding a little bit. Katsuta battling in the middle there with De Oliveira. Now out wide, it's Mason Fernandez and De Oliveira working very hard in his second season at Sydney United 58. Joined by a couple more of his former Blacktown City teammates this year, and we'll get to that now with Sydney United 58. Ante Juric back at the helm. Plenty of history with him in this club. Just look back to 2006 for that. McDonald, the long throw. Petrados is held down by Vlastelica, but all legal, says the referee. And tell me, looking to get out of a dangerous situation here. Bailey Rule just takes it out for a throw, and it'll go the way of the host. So their starting lineup. In goals, number 1, the former Blacktown City shot stopper Tristan Prendergast. Number 3, Bailey Rule. Number 4, the skipper, Adrian Vlastelica. Number 5, Anthony Tomilich. Number 8, Mario Chabot. Number 9, Patrick Antelmi. Number 10, Carlos de Oliveira. Number 11, Matthew Hatch. Number 14, Liam McGinn. Number 17, Michael Glasslock. And number 32, rounding out the starting 11, the Fijian international, Leroy Jennings. On the bench, number 15, Tarek Meyer. Number 16, Anthony Krilic. Number 22, Stephen de Robillard. Number 23, Mason Wells. Number 31, Josip Orlovic. And number 37, Luke Zvela. So plenty of youth on the bench for Ante Juric. He's dealing with a few injuries to start the season, and it does seem like this start of the season, both sides aren't pushing the throttle down all the way. To start with, obviously, both want a long run in the Cup. Sydney United look to have a bit of a longer season. Long shot from distance here off the back of Vlastelica. Didn't know much about it. Probably just trying to get out of the way of that. And he's going to end up with a red back as a result. That'll be sore in the morning. So it's been a pretty one-sided start to this affair, you'd say. The first 4 minutes, Sutherland putting the pressure on early. Sydney United very relaxed though, not caving into it just yet. As you can see the way they're set up defensively, very, very strong structure. That back four doesn't like to push up too much, and you've got Anthony Tomilich, who's got plenty of experience playing in the back line in that number 6 role, who's always happy to help them out. Matthew Hatch has had experience playing on the left there. I think interestingly for Sydney United though, speaking to Ante Juric pre-game, was that Michael Glasslock is partnering Adrian Vlastelica, whilst Liam McGinn plays on the right. Now that right back spot last year was a bit of a toss-up between Adam Zervis, Christian Gonzalez, and Jordan Ivancic. When healthy, the three of them did struggle for fitness for most of the year, and just having a bit of consistency there now with Glasslock joining from Sydney Olympic and locking down that central defensive role alongside the skipper. But McGinn's quality in defence, it's hard to leave him out. Just haven't seen him play there as much. It'll be interesting to see how he goes there and how active he is in the attack. We know Bailey Rule, the left fullback, loves to join the attack. Got a few goals last season doing so. He's absolutely rapid as well. We know McGinn's got some pace to him. Very interesting to see there what Ante Juric is cooking up, obviously in a 4-3-3, his preferred formation, which opens them up for great counter-attacking opportunities like that. And a little bit of a tussle here to start with. Carlos not happy there with the treatment of Leroy Jennings, who was taken out, looking to get a little bit of a 1-2 going down that right-hand side. And Carlos, very feisty character on the field, plays with plenty of heart and passion and wears his heart on his sleeve. You can't say he doesn't. So the referee just having a chat with his linesman, telling them to hold up play as they figure out if any cards need to be issued. So Mario Chabot having a word with the referee. I apologise, I must have got them mixed up. They do look very similar, Mario Chabot and Carlos de Oliveira. Looks like nothing more than just a warning for now. A lot of similarities between Chabot and de Oliveira, even in the way they play. Their looks very similar, pretty similar stature, both joining the side in recent times from Blacktown City. It's almost like a Pokemon evolution of the two, if you will. De Oliveira, the junior of Mario Chabot, has got plenty of experience in this competition, along with the A-League men's competition. Experience in Western Sydney Wanderers, Newcastle Jets and the Central Coast Mariners before coming back to his home in southwest Sydney, finding a great home in Blacktown City where he had plenty of success alongside his former teammate Tristan Prendergast, who is in goals today for Sydney United. Vlastelica switches it up. He's got two options now. Holds it back for Chabot. He's already got a goal this year for Sydney United, and it's going to be a corner. All eyes on this one. There's probably been plenty of talk about this in the dressing room. The first chance they get to be up close and personal with their former teammate Nizic. De Oliveira's going to be on it. Header at the back stick. It was Vlastelica. Flicks on. Bit of conjecture here. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Sharks. So an early caller there for Sydney United. Their first real chance of the game. Not really doing much. We focus now on the Sharks. Plenty of change for them. Aside that, really struggled last year. Survived another relegation scrap at the 11th hour. Safe by the final round, but still only managed to escape that playoff spot in 15th. Long range shot, Prendergast takes the sting out of it. And there was a decent effort in the end there by Peter Grossos, one of the new signings. So two of the stars of this Sutherland Sharks team last year, Jay McGowan and Mitchell Stamatellis, both who featured in the NPL New South Wales men's team of the season. I mean, any time the Sharks got a point or one, those two were undoubtedly the two top performers. Stamatellis, the club's top goal scorer in this competition last year with 7, and Jay McGowan with 6. Combined for nearly 33% of the club's goals last year. And the man that's taken McGowan's number, Costa Petrados, wins a foul for his side, just shy of halfway. Plenty of new signings to go through. Obviously, Peter Grossos joining from St. George FC. A few that aren't in the squad today. Lachlan Fields joining from the NPL Canberra system. He's picked up a bit of an injury. Steve Zorich told me pre-game, so he won't be in today. We've got Dylan Susovic coming over from Marconi, and Daniel Wong as well. Leading the line in the uncharacteristic number 58. I haven't seen many players don that number in this competition. You see him there out on the left flank at the moment for Steve Zorich's side. Obviously, Maki and Costa Petrados as well from St. George. And on the bench, number 9, Ruben Awera Tifi. See the backup striker last season for the most part at Blacktown City, showing plenty of flashes in his first couple of seasons at Blacktown City. Obviously, that star-studded attack was just unable to break through that starting lineup, and joining a revamped Sharks team with the hope of a bit more first-team football and to break through. Still pretty young. He's got a very impressive frame, very lanky but fast, and can find the back of the net, that's for sure. And that's something the Sharks struggled with last year. Tomolich coughs up possession. Petrados almost gets past Rule. Tomolich is there to meet McDonald, deflects it away, and that will be a corner. First corner of the game for the Sharks. Stop for the corner here. Looks like a little bit of a niggle picked up there. I'm not sure if that was Grossos or Petrados. Irrespective, Sydney United not taking any chances here. Just about everyone back for the first corner of the game. Grossos lines up the corner, but won't be getting along anytime soon, as the weather has just taken an absolute turn for the worst here in Adenza Park. It's absolutely beaming about an hour ago. It was pushing 30 degrees, and cloud coverage coming in. Fair bit of rain. You've got to give credit to the Sydney United supporters. Still out in their numbers, supporting the club in their first game of the season. Pretty strong attendance here, but the umbrellas are out up on the hill. I'm sure nothing a few beers can't fix. As it looks like the Sharks are going to be forced into a pretty early substitution here. Looks like a somewhat serious injury to a man that has impressed so much in the preseason in Costa Petrados, and he's going to be replaced by Maki Petrados, the number 10. They're not wasting any time. Straight down the tunnel for Costa. Ball goes in. Prendergast went out to get it, but Lastalista was first to it. Fernandez showing those silky moves in and around the box. Goes out for a throw, and the Sharks will remain in United 58's half. Try and get an update about that injury at halftime if we can. Costa Petratos went down pretty quickly, and they took him off pretty fast. Looks to be in a bit of pain, so he's off. Nizic had us fooled there for a second. Thought it went past his legs, but maybe he was trying to bait Paddy and tell me it's coming in and putting a bit of pressure on him and just getting an extra man out of the transition defense for Sydney United. Tomilic tries to play the ball through to Shabao, but his touch is a bit heavy, and that's a great first time ball through. Here's Wong. Little razzle dazzle from Wong across the face of goal. Bailey Rule hits it off Lastalista, and the Sharks are on the board first in this one, and their first goal of the season is an own goal. 14 minutes in.
Unfortunately,
and the Sharks' early pressure pays off.
Sharks 1 lead Sydney United 0.
Bailey Rule doing the right thing there, you got to say. Not much more he could have done. Just had to get it out there in the worst way. Couldn't mess around with it. Got rid of it first time and just hit the back of his central defensive partner. And the Sutherland Sharks are up 1-0. Courtesy of that own goal. Just checking out the replay on our YouTube page, which obviously you are watching on, so thank you very much for joining us on the YouTube page. Be sure to stick around for plenty of action. We've had a couple games kick off already in the first round. It's good to have the NPL back so early in the year as well. It's a great time of year. So Rule cleared it, just probably didn't get all of it. Lastalista was just trying to cover his face, and looks like it just hit the upper body or the elbow of the skipper. First yellow card of the game looking to be issued here. And the fans on the hill letting him know about it. Pretty early yellow card there, just 15 minutes in. And that, I believe, went to Jacob Garner. The Sharks been very physical to start this game, and it's a pretty common feature of the Sydney United 58 squads in past. Very physical, like to dominate their opponents in the middle of the park and defensively as well, and usually leads to goal scoring opportunities. Lastalista now out wide. Bailey Rule very advanced. Hatch looked for the 1-2. His touch was too heavy, and a good chance coughed up there by Sydney United 58. Still yet to have a real good crack at goal. In all fairness, the Sharks have only had 1 or 2 shots on target themselves, but probably had the lion's share of chances and attacking play. A little run around the side there from Katsuta. Try to play it back in the middle to Grossos, and Tomilic, outnumbered by plenty of Sharks, does well to put the pressure back on Grossos. But out wide now, Skatardis. Shot's no good from Wong. Grossos has been just about everywhere to start this game. In that final third and in the midfield, helping out where he can. Another chance looming here for the Sharks. Wong, that's a great 1-2. Wong's in on goal. McGinn gets a bit of the ball, and that's an excellent defensive coverage there from Liam McGinn. Obviously playing in the right back role today, but showing his central defensive skills there. Picking the pocket to Daniel Wong. As United look to answer back with a little 1-2 of their own, but Jacob Garner the wiser. gets there first. Strong bit of defensive work there by Liam McGinn. Obviously sat out a little bit at the back end of last season. The lengthy suspension came back in the final series though for Sydney United, where they made a very impressive run from 6th place. Just a game shy of the decider in the end. It's De Oliveira. Giving away the foul there. I'd say pretty lucky. Just been given away with a warning as Sharks look to be down another man, which is just going to give Steve Zorich a little bit more of a headache. Already had 3 players out of the new signings. Mentioned pre-game that they are a bit light defensively to start this season, but he's confident in the people he's got there at the moment. And obviously Nizic, such a leader at the back there, he's more than capable of leading this side from the back up. It's going to take a while to get used to seeing Nizic in that pink goalkeeper jersey, used to seeing him in the black kit that Prendergast currently holds. There's always a bit of a mystery with Nizic. He had that season with MacArthur after the Australia Cup run was signed mid-season. So left Sydney United in the 2023 season. And didn't get his contract renewed with MacArthur and sat on the sidelines for a little bit. And many expected once news dropped that Oliver Kalac had left the club alongside his father and coach Joko, that he could retain that number 1 shirt, but Tristan Pendergrass gets the nod, and they're both sensational keepers, 2 of the best keepers in this competition in recent time, as Rule beats McDonald to the ball, and it's going to be a second corner of the game for the Sharks. Continuing to put pressure on here. Very fast-paced attack from the Sharks. Grozos on corner duties here. Puts it into the front post, and it's De Oliveira there. Not the tallest of players, but plenty of heart. Gets to that header first. Control there by Moric, and Chabal tries to play it through. Calls for a handball off Garner. Not given, but it's going to be a throw on the other side of the half, which will be a big sigh of relief for Sydney United 58. See, far right, Leroy Jennings in acres of space, and we know Vlastelica loves a long cross ball. See if they look to pick him out. Chabot. Tomlich with the long ball to that man, Jennings. Jennings, first time cross in, deflected. At the edge of the box, it's Chabot. Good effort, but just well over in the end. Had it first time, had to have a crack. He had plenty of space, plenty of time, just got underneath it, sliced it a little bit, and the Sharks getting away with one there. Shot there by Nizic, almost out on the full, when his former fans letting him know about it for sure up here in the Boca stand. And tell me, try to get it past a few Sharks there. No deflection, says the referee, and possession back the way of the visitors from the Shire. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, plenty of changes here at Sydney United, obviously starting at the helm. Zelko Kalac abruptly leaving at the end of last season after a pretty successful run. Grozos out wide. Wong going to cut in on his left, plays it across the middle. First time miss, second time follow up. Didn't get the power on it, and Prendergast making a pretty easy save at the end there, but really could have been a lot worse for Sydney United 58. Grozos with a push in the back there, no foul given, And a throw back the way of the Sharks. So the initial miss by Maki Petrados. Daniel Wong making some great inroads down there on the left. Mason Fernandez with the eventual final shot. Looked to be on his weaker foot. Couldn't get the power he wanted, but you've got to take those chances when they come. Especially against a side against Sydney United. They've got plenty of fight in them. They've had so many late comebacks in years gone past and underdog wins. They're going to have to pull out something pretty strong here against a really rejuvenated Shark side. It must be said that look motivated to get a win in the early stages of the season here, as then Telmi goes down after a tussle with Garner, and free kick the way of the hosts. Out wide now, Leroy Jennings playing it back to McGinn. So not too much has changed tactically for Sydney United between the two coaches, Ante Juric and Joko Kalac. Still playing a very similar formation with a lot of familiar faces there in attack. You can see the two centre-backs staying back as both full-backs pushing up to provide a bit of extra support there on the wing. And Tomalic holding as an acting third central centre-back there alongside Michael Glasslock, one of the new boys. It's been a very impressive recruitment drive from Sydney United this year. You see picking up. Last year it seemed, speaking to Zelko Kalac, that they were looking more towards a youthful side in preparation for the National Second Division. It's Glasslock takes matters into his own hands. Jennings across the face of goal. And Telmi looked to have got there first. It's going to be a corner deflected away. And Telmi went down, but looked to maybe have just wrong-footed himself or a strong shoulder there by the centre-back pairing of Matthew Morich and Jacob Garner. But it's going to be a corner irrespective for Sydney United. Halfway through the opening period here at Sydney United Sports Centre. The elevator giving his side a chance to breathe a little bit, and it looks like this one could be heading towards the skipper. Finds the head of McGinn. Deflected away, edge of the box. Hatch was there. They couldn't fall to him. And it's Daniel Wong making a run all the way. And Matthew Hatch spurred on by the crowd here. Great defensive track back from the left winger. Hatch, one of the many to be renewed for the 2025 season. Gets on the ball here. First time cross. It's on target. First shot on target of the game. Not sure if it was supposed to be a shot. If it was pretty decent in the end to get that first time. Looks like I can't tell me wasn't set in the middle, but Matthew Hatch places that one calmly into the hands of Daniel Nizic. So from last season to leave for Sydney United, Lewis Lobo, Oliver Kalat, who was the starting goalkeeper in the team of the season, Matthew Nikolovsky, Adam Zervis, Marko Adam Basic, Dejan Bakadanakovsky, obviously Joko Kalac, and Shunta Nakamura, who left about 10 games to go pursue a international opportunity. And it's a stunning talent. Big loss to this competition. He's been around for a while. Ball through from McGinn. Leroy Jennings gets there first, plays it across the middle. And I don't think De Oliveira was expecting him to get there. Not in position, not set for it. It's United put the Sharks defence under plenty of pressure. Heavy touch picked up by Glasslock. Tomlic trying to pick up the scraps. But it's out wide now with Lachlan McDonald, the former MacArthur Bull Academy product. Plenty of turnover and, a lot of players out, so you've got to bring some players in. So some of those new signings, Richie Darko was a junior here, made his first grade debut with Sydney United. He's buzzing to be back a lot closer to home. Had a great stint there with the Spirit, but at the end, just a fresh change up for him, and he's got a bit of a quad injury at the moment, so should expect to see him back in about 3 weeks. But in speaking to him pre-game, he's not too fussed. He's happy to sit out as long as he needs to get ready for what's going to be a chaotic end to the season as Daniel Wong misses a huge opportunity to give the Sharks a 2-goal lead. The bounce deceived that pairing of Glasslock and McGinn there, and Wong was just able to pounce, and he's looked spectacular to start this game, Daniel Wong. Good ball from Lachlan McDonald as well, it must be said. Just continuing some of those new faces for Sydney United. Obviously, Michael Glasslock was also a part of the team of the season last year, joining from Sydney Olympic. Thomas Mako, not in the squad today. Josip Orlovic, who was playing in Croatia's youth division, in the first division there for NK Maldos last season. So he's on the bench today. Expect to see him appear and feature at some stage. And then obviously the 2 Blacktown City veterans, Tristan Prendergast and Mario Chabot. Obviously both, a lot of similarities between them, both joining from Blacktown, both spending time in the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy as well. And obviously Ante Juric, probably the biggest of them all, the current Sydney FC A-League women's head coach. He's won 3 titles and 3 premierships with them, and he was doing double duty a couple years back for Sydney Olympic and gave it away to focus on the women's side, but the itch to coach NPL again was too hard to resist for Juric, obviously a part of that famous 06 squad, and he's joined by his assistant coach, Stephen Bozanovsky, both a former player here as well. Everywhere Ante Juric goes, Stephen does tend to follow, and they've had plenty of success together as a pairing. It's good to see them reunited at the NPL level at the least. Just under half an hour gone here. De Oliveira wins back possession, and there's numbers forward now for United. Chabot, out wide is Jennings. Gets it in the middle, is looking for the head of Antelmi. Just a little bit too much on that. And Bailey Rule will try to get that one away from Mason Fernandez. And not enough in the end. Throw in the way of the Sharks. Donald's throw. Looked to be a bit of a push in the back there for Grossos, who's, in all fairness, causing this United 58 defence plenty of problems so far. He's very electric. We've seen it last season, and in new colours this year, not much has changed. It's always good the first season, or the first couple of rounds of the NPL season, seeing all these new faces in new places, trying to make a mark for themselves, prove their old clubs wrong. McDonald's calling for it out wide, and Garner happy to just sit on it for a little bit. Nizic under pressure by Paddy Antelmi. First time clearance from Glasslock. It's a good touch from Hatch. Even better touch from Chabot. Got a bit of space. Urged to shoot by the crowd. Lays it off to De Oliveira. Look for the 1-2. That's a great stop in the end there by Jerry Skotadis. And now the other way. Can't make them pay. Good clearance by McGinn, but possession right back the way of the Sharks. Skadados, one of the players Steve Zorich was most impressed with in the preseason, said his on-ball ability is very, very good for this level, and also did mention a few other new signings that had impressed him. Obviously Daniel Nizic, the leadership that he brings to the club just instantly, something that stood out to Zorich, and obviously Costa Petrados as well. Catching Zorich by surprise a little bit, so it's really disappointing to see him go down that early. I think we've yet to see him return from the change room, but hope to get an update on that at half-time as Grossos toys around with it in a dangerous area, but happy to just reset now, the Sharks. Katsuta. Both sides playing a pretty similar shape, both in attack and defense. Wonder if there'll be any tactical adjustments from both coaches at half-time. Nizic again on the ball. A few boos going around. No love lost for the former keeper here. Strong and long ball headed out by Glaslock. Now conceded there by Leroy Jennings, who obviously joined midway through last season as well. And a name for himself throughout the back end of the season. Long ball by Morich, picks out Wong. First time ball. Wong, Glaslock and Wong both hit the deck. Referee says play on. McGinn clears it, but it's only as far as Skatados. He's got time to think about this. McDonald making the run forward. Heads it down for Grossos. Back to his right back. McDonald across the face of goal. First time and out for a corner by Adrian Vlastelica, the club captain. Not messing about. Peter Grossos, not in a rush to take this on, that's for sure. Pretty decent crowd building here, obviously all trying to find a bit of cover as the rain continues to pour down in Adenza Park, which I'm sure the players will be happy with. Playing on a hot synthetic turf, not the most ideal conditions, but a bit of wet, the ball glides a bit more, a bit easier to move around and slide on the ground. Grossos goes for the front stick, headed away by Antelmi it looked like, and the first time effort by Katsuta goes well over the bar, but it looks like it took a deflection on the way, and it's going to be a consecutive corner for the Sharks. Obviously opening the scoring in the 13th minute. I'm not sure who he put that own goal down to in terms of the formal rules. If it's Bailey rule, Adrian Vlastelica rule, smashed it into a Vlastelica who was none the wiser. Find out shortly. Grossos attacks the front stick again. Edge of the box. Falls to Petrados out wide. Bit of unfamiliar territory for him. It was Skatados who thought about it from the edge of the box, but played it safe out wide. And it's been about 3 or 4 minutes straight of Sharks just pure dominance with possession and the attacking chances. So lots to think about for both sides. Sydney United have had their chances, but the Sharks have to be sad. Looking like the more likelier to find the back of the net again. First time ball in the middle. It was a tough touch to bring down, and Vlastelica clears it away. And it's one thing Sydney United have been pretty good at in recent seasons, so that their clearances don't just go anywhere. They're usually finding a player out wide as De Oliveira scrambles to get back to his feet and join the attack. Liam Hatch. Glaslock. Chabot. Jennings now plays it back to Chabot, probably a little bit too heavy, and the first time clearance is pretty good by Morich. It's going to be a corner for Sydney United 58. Chabot wanted to take that corner, but shoot off by his junior in Carlos de Oliveira. Gets it in the middle. It's a dangerous ball. Vasilisa gets a head onto it. And the header from point blank range just didn't have the desired power. And Nizic, gee, wouldn't he be relieved after that? It was Leroy Jennings who got on the end of the Vlastelica header that was headed towards the back stick, but probably would have been cleaned up by Nizic, and him going to the back post essentially saved them a goal as Jennings, by the time he could get any power, the ball could get any momentum, it was already gobbled up by Nizic. Really great chance there, and De Oliveira seemed confident that he was going to pick out a target there from that corner, and he was right, so I think he'll stay on corner duty for a little bit longer there. Ghana under a bit of pressure, has to play it back to Nizic. That ball straight to Tristan Prendergast. Would be disappointed to have his first goal conceded in that manner for Sydney United 58. Long ball over the top, Morich heads it away. Only as far as Chabot, but he was almost too fast for his own good. Showing the dog he's got inside of him. Mario Chabot, never giving up. So I'd say he got that dog in him. Looking backwards header only as far as Katsuta, who coughs up possession to Anthony Tomilic. And now a good chance for a bit of hold-up play from Antelmi. Didn't work out the first time, but the second time goes well with Jennings out on the right. Show and go. Jennings across the face, a goal. Good stop there, but McGinn's onto it. Tries to get it across and gets a corner for Sydney United 58. I believe that was Mo Ahmed the first time on defensive duties in the centre there. De Oliveira had a good crack at it the first time. See what he can do the second time around. Both sides with 4 corners in the first half as this game's just evening up a little bit in terms of attacking chances. Good ball again from De Oliveira. Glasslock gets a clean look at it. Collided with a few Sharks on the way. Not much malice intent there, but a good chance. Going well wide of the target, unfortunately, there for the hosts. So obviously a few other games happening around. We've got two simultaneous kickoffs, I should say. Sydney Olympic and the St George Saints currently locked at 1 apiece, while the Northwest Sydney Spirit have a 1-0 lead over Sydney FC at the Arctic Circle there. As Vlastelitz has been taken out, and it's Maki Petrados who finds himself in the book. Five minutes shy of half time, and the substitute Maki Petrados finds himself in the book. Also Matthew Morich, the other man to receive a booking. Obviously the first game last night, Manly United getting a massive 5-0 win over the Central Coast Mariners. Central Coast Mariners who escaped relegation after winning that 2-leg playoff against the Bulls FC Academy. Both sides get a bit of a chance for a drink and a breather as Vlastelica back on his feet, much to the liking of the Sydney United 58 faithful here. seen pre-game as well, it is worth mentioning some of those cap achievements for some of these Sydney United 58 players. With Christian Gonzalez getting an award for his 150th game. So did Tarek Meyer. Two players that have been staples of this club the last couple of years, and then obviously someone who's been a staple of this club more recently, the skipper, Adrian Vlastelica and Patrick Antelmi getting their plaques for 200, and a man who's been an actual staple of this club for well over a decade now, Anthony Tomolich, getting his for over 350 caps for the club. Had a short stint away for the club a couple of years ago, but came back and never really looked back. He's seen just about everything at this club. He's been through final series, Australia Cup runs. Just about everything, Tomolich. Popped up a really good chance here for Chabot. And Nizic really had to think about it. Pulled his hand away at the final second. Knew that one was going over, but gee, wasn't that close from Mario Chabot. Nizic was just an absolute monster of a goal kick there. Almost went box to box on the full if it didn't hit the head of Vlastelica there. Now out wide, it's Maki Petrados. Looking on the inside for Grossos, playing in the... Sorry, Mason Fernandez it was, playing in the number 10 role. Clearance only as far as Wong has it first time. Look for the top corner. Just a little bit too much on it and not the curl he wanted. And Tristan Prendergast has a word with his defenders for not getting that out in the right time. Kastelica now looking to calm things down and ignite something going the other way as Garner's header is going to go out for a corner. Exactly what the skipper does. Knows when he sides under a bit of pressure and can sniff out when a defence is off their mark, and he's done brilliantly there to do that. Fifth corner of the game for the host, Sydney United 58. Chabot, first time it's on the left side, and the first time we've got to see him take a corner. It's Carlos de Oliveira, happy to let that one go. Hits the front stick. Matthew Hatch thought about it first time, but Grossos potentially saving a goal there, just sticking a foot out. And he's done it again, deflecting the long clearance of Bailey Rule. Now Katsuta out wide to Matthew Morich. Jacob Garner. His clearance is deflected into Jennings, and now with Antelmi, but Katsuta does well to win it back. Tomolich picking up the scraps. Jennings got space out wide, gets it in the middle, and it's deflected away for another Sydney United 58 corner. They've finished this first half really, really strong. They're looking to get a goal, put it level, going back into the break. It's Oliveira with his fifth corner of the game. Looping ball in, back stick, forced to Vlastelica. Didn't think about the shot, thought about just looping it back in. And McGinn was putting a bit of pressure under Garner, who forces him to clear it out for a throw. One-two with Hatch and Rule. Rule's got the pace to get past Skatosa, but it's going to be a goal kick in the end there. Skatatis there has done his scouting report on Bailey Rule. Just got around him and quite literally didn't let him run past him. That's the end of the first 45 minutes here.
Half-time
The Sutherland
scoreline
Sharks
here at the
lead
Sydney
1-0
United
after an own goal in the
Sharks
13th
FC 1
minute.
lead Sydney
Join
United
us back
58
here
Football
on
Club
the
0.
Football New South Wales
Scores
YouTube
from other
page for the
grounds.
second half.
Half-time, Sydney Olympic 1,
Should be a
St George
thrilling
Saints
encounter.
1. Spirit FC are leading Sydney FC Youth by 1-0. And at full-time, Western Sydney Wanderers Youth and Mount Druitt had a 1-1 draw.
second half here at Sydney United Sports Centre. Sydney United 58, down 1-0 to the visitors, the Sutherland Sharks. Own goal in the 13th minute. Bit of a combination of Bailey Rule hitting it into his skipper Adrian Vlastelica. Tristan Prendergast couldn't do anything about it as the ball trickled into the back of the net. That was in the early stages of the game. The only goal so far. The final 45 minutes, both sides look like there's been just one change.
Replacements at half-time for Sydney United. Number 11, Matthew Hatch, and number 32, Leroy Jennings, have been replaced by number 22, Stephen De Robilliard, and 23, Mason Wells.
So you hear on the announcement there, Mason Wells and Stephen De Robilliard coming on. It's both wingers coming out, which is a bit interesting. Long ball over the top, trying to pick up Maki Petrados there from Peter Grossos. No good. The first attacking chance of the second half for either side there. Just past the minute mark there. Obviously the Sharks made a substitution early. Unwarranted though, with Wong playing it across the middle and Prendergast getting there, preventing Petrados, the substitute, from getting there. So it was Maki Petrados who came on for Costa, who left with an apparent ankle injury at halftime. Again, playing it over the top to De Oliveira, caught up in a little tussle there. Didn't get the better of it there. Matthew Morich winning that interaction for the time being. Mo Ahmed and Matthew Morich both letting him know there as Chabot coughs up possession in a pretty dangerous area. Through ball from Petrados, finds Wong out on the left. He's been causing him problems all day. Daniel Wong sets up Petrados and just got a toe to it. Wide of the front stick in the end, but a good passage of play to start. Ball over the top, Mason Wells with his first touch of the game. Former Bulls FC Academy product, brought over by his former coach at that club, Mason Wells, as the same could be said for Stephen De Robilliard out on the left. Both prospects showed plenty of flashes in their time at the A-League Academy there and been pretty good so far in their appearances for Sydney United. Mason Wells' touch is a little bit too heavy. Goal kick for the Sharks. De Robilliard last year had 4 goals. Mason Wells had 2. Majority of their appearances coming off the bench with that star-studded experience front three that United did possess. Shunta Nakamura was a part of that for a good part of the season last year. So it looks like the Sharks have made one change as well. Looks like Jordan Roberts has come on for Matthew Morich, who was put in the referee's book in the 15th minute. So he was skating on thin ice for about half an hour there. He's just going to have to get rid of this one pretty quick, and he does. A little tussle there between Glasslock and Grossos. Glasslock won it, but the referee deemed it to be in a legitimate manner, I should say. Free kick taken quickly. Roberts back to Mo Ahmed. And Daniel Nizic. He's been under pressure every time he's touched the ball, Daniel Nizic, but credit to him, he's handled it pretty well. That one there is headed back in by Lachlan McDonald. Very advanced for the time being as Jacob Garner covers his tracks on the right side. De Robilliard thought he was away, but the referee calls another foul in favour of the visitors. Garner now. Donald pushing forward. staying in that advanced right wing back role. Come back to bite him as Bailey Rule wins it back, but he's outnumbered by Sharks in the middle. Daniel Wong's got space to move here. Cutting it from right to left. McGinn following him like anything and wins a goal kick for Sydney United. He's been very impressive today, Liam McGinn, playing in the right back role. Obviously spent majority of 2024 in the centre-back partnership with Adrian Vlastelica. Finds himself in a new role at the club here at the right back position, and he's made the most of it. McGinn plays it down the line. Paddy Antelmi's one of his specialties, this hold-up play, dragging the defender out and letting the middles run through that space. He's done it perfectly here. De Oliveira out wide. Stephen De Robillard deflected over, and it's another corner for Sydney United 58. Great passage of attacking play there by the hosts. Ante Juric will be pleased with that. Daniel Dizic going to ground. I think speaking to a few players before the game, they did mention that the corners were going to be a point of focus for them. First corners looked to be the first kind of taste that we got of it. And Antelmi, for the first time this game, really putting a lot of pressure on his former teammate Daniel Dizic, and no Sharks defender pushing him away for the time being. Short corner finds Chabot, gets a bit of space, puts it in the middle, and Antelmi almost got ahead to it. The flag's raised on the far side. McGinn gets it back in. And the offside flag was raised from the initial cross. Antelmi almost got to it, but was sandwiched by a couple of Sharks defenders there. And Nizic, the experienced campaigner, will just take his time here, give his side a bit of time to reset, because it's been all Sydney United to start this second half. The polar opposite start to how this game started, with the Sharks dominating the opening passages of play here. Long kick headed away by Vlastelica again. He's been solid in the first 45 and hasn't shown any signs of letting up as Tomilic wins possession back there. The 350 gamer for Sydney United 58 in the middle. Robillard loses possession to Garner. The clearance only goes as far as the skipper Vlastelica, and United 58 with the pressure right back on. Ball out wide now with Mason Wells. Chabot. Seeing the runner, Carlos De Oliveira couldn't make the pass. Glasslock resets now. Thought about the long switching ball, but just gave it to De Oliveira, who goes to ground, and it's a free kick in a dangerous area for Sydney United 58. De Oliveira looks to take it quickly and possibly bait the referee into giving Daniel Wong a yellow card there. Pretty smart from United 58's number 10. So it's in their last hit out before this NPL season. They beat the Melbourne Knights in the Friendship Cup down in Melbourne. Sydney United got a 2-0 win. Matthew Hatch and Mario Chabot got on the scoreboard, and Chabot with an absolute rocket of a free kick in that game. He's not on this one. It's Carlos De Oliveira. Back stick, just skinned the head of Patrick Antelmi. Talking to a few fans before at the halftime break. Brother of Anthony Tomilic, Matthew, saying to me he's done his digging on the stats and believes that Patrick Antelmi is not too far off getting the all-time goal-scoring top spot at this club, possibly about 15 goals away. And we've got to do some digging on all-time appearances for the club, because Anthony Tomilic with 350, he's got to be pushing up there with some of the greats of this club. Plenty of NPL action around this afternoon as well. No games tomorrow or on the Saturday, and obviously yesterday with Manly United getting a 5-0 win over the Central Coast Mariners. So So we had Western Sydney Wanderers, the 1-1 draw with the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Wrapped up about 15 minutes since the start of this game. Northwest Sydney Spirit and Sydney FC just about to hit half-time. The Northwest Sydney Spirit still holding a 1-0 lead. And Sydney Olympic and the St. George Saints locked at 1 apiece. Katsuta getting the ball at the end there. Wong deflected again by McGinn. But on the second effort, it's Daniel Wong who doubles the Sharks' lead. Caught everyone by surprise there, Daniel Wong.
Goal for Sharks FC, scored by number 58, Daniel Wong. Sharks FC 2, lead Sydney United 0.
Wong gets the second. And the man with plenty of international experience finishes the job for the Sharks. And with really just, I'd say, their second attacking chance of the second half, the Sharks find the back of the net. It was a good ball in from Katsuto across the face of goal. And Wong's first effort was diffused by Liam McGinn, and the deflection just fell perfectly to his left foot, the stronger foot of Daniel Wong. And he just buried his chance. Prendergast really had no chance. McGinn and Prendergast both looking visibly upset after that, but not much they could do after that. They've both put in pretty solid showing so far. And the 2 goals that this defence has conceded, not much that they could do about it, but this new look Shark side, that's what they've done so far. They've made them pay when they can. They had a fantastic first half, looked the better side. Sydney United 58 finished pretty strong and started pretty strong here as well, but couldn't capitalise on their chances, and they've been made to pay by the Sharks, up 2-0. Daniel Wong last season had 10 goals for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers in the New South Wales League 1. He's opened his account here, and technically the first Sutherland Sharks player to find the back of the net this season. As United 58 win this throw and look to take it quickly. Antelmi again holding it up. Patrick Antelmi with space, has a go first time. Forces Nizic to get down low, but it just scrapes past those big gloves of Daniel Nizic, but it's out for a goal kick. A bit of a warning strike from Sydney United's number 9. Obviously last season the Sharks did struggle to find the back of the net. Obviously finishing in 13th, which is 29 points, 1 point above that relegation scrap in 15th. Only managed to find 32 goals from the 30 games, but 2 goals already in the opening clash here. The biggest win last season, arguably in terms of numbers, but a 2-0 win over Blacktown. But they had a few disappointing results. I think that one was highlighted by a 7-0 loss to RPL Leichhardt. That was in round 8. Looking like a much improved side this year under Steve Zorich. Mason Wells has a crack first time, really. We've seen him go for it. But Nizic gobbles it up again, and he's been forced to work in the second half here, Daniel Nizic. Paddy Antelmi's just eyeing him out, making sure he's not going to make a mistake here. He sliced that one, and Mason Wells attempting to bring it back into his side's possession. Brozos does well to get out of that barrage of United shirts. Fernandez's touch just didn't have the power, and it's coughed up now the way of Sydney United 58. Tomlich not wasting any time again in this one, kick-started. McGinn. McGinn with the short ball to De Oliveira, who plays it across the face of goal first time. Doesn't work out too well. The other way now, Maki Petrados. McGinn fighting so hard to get back, and he's got a reward for it. The ball back the way of Sydney United 58. Sydney United 58, plenty of success in a rather eventful season last year. I mean, some of the ups and downs that they had last year. A 6-0 loss to Sydney Olympic in round 3. Obviously a 4-0 loss at the hands of RPL Leichhardt towards the back end of the season. 2 of the lowlights there, but had a pretty impressive 5-1 win against RPL Leichhardt. Paddy Antelmi getting a double there, and Matthew Hatch finding himself on the scoreboard. Bit of a rapid there. Regular season from last year. They finished in 6th spot, the final spot in the playoff system here for last season. And they went on a massive winning streak, almost similar to their Australia Cup run, which was a bit unexpected to say when they only won 3 of their last 9 games to end the season. Performing when it matters the most. Maki Petrados now. Trapped into a corner by Vlastelica, gets the ball first, and Petrados hits the deck as well. The last season in that finals run, got a 1-0 win against St. George, then defeating the reigning premiers in RPL Leichhardt 2-1. And then a 3-1 defeat to Rockdale Linden, where they fell just a game short of making the big decider, obviously won by the Marconi Stallions in the end there. Looking like the side to beat early, Marconi. Daniel Wong loses the ball to McGinn, and cleaning it up is Glasslock. Straight to Antelmi. Great positional awareness there by the striker to stay on the right, knowing that Mason Wells pushed back. Obviously, Wells made a name for himself as a number 8, really, in the Bulls FC Academy. Snizic looks to go coast to coast. Good header in the end there by Wong. Petrados with a few options. Finds Grossos. Petrados back in the middle. Look for the back stick run of McDonald. And De Robillard didn't get to it, and McDonald almost assumed he would and backed off a little bit. And if he kept pursuing that ball, we would have had an open side of goal. McDonald, quick ball into Fernandez. Pockets picked by De Oliveira, and it's a first corner of the second half for the Sutherland Sharks. As Ante Juric lining up a double substitution here, and it looks like we're going to get a familiar face in Tariq Maya coming on, and Mario Chabot coming off, and it looks like we're going to have Chris Zuvella, one of the youngsters given an academy scholarship this season, played plenty in the 20s last year, was the top goal scorer in that competition for the longest time before suffering a shoulder injury. Ball in at the back stick by Grossos. Has his arms up saying, where was my teammate to the back stick, but almost went for goal. So Paddy Antelmi is going to be making way for Chris Zuvella. And Mario Chabot putting in pretty good shifts in the first hour of the game, replaced with some fresh young legs. Tariq Maya likely hold that central role, while Carlos De Oliveira will push a bit more forward in the position
coming on,
that his
number 15,
number would suggest, the number 10.
And number 37, Luke Juvella.
So not many options left on the bench for Ante Juric. Only Josip Orlovic and Anthony Krilic left, really. Tomalic with the no-look flick over the top. Trying to find his cousin, Chris Zuvella. Early ball here, and the youngster Zuvella looking to make an impact almost immediately off the bench. Good clearance in the end there by Garner. Pat on the backs all around as he saves his side. The spoil is there, but it's a corner for Sydney United. De Oliveira at the front stick, no one home Headed back by Mason Wells. Nothing doing there. Nizic will clean it up for a goal kick. So around the grounds again quickly, up your Leichhardt. That game kicking off against the Wollongong Wolves. They're up 1-0. And then 2 more games to follow. Marconi Stallions and Blacktown City. A new look Blacktown City taking on the reigning champions, Marconi Stallions. And as we say, that Lachlan Scott has levelled things for the Wollongong Wolves. Back pass, didn't have enough power, and Zuvela hungry for his Getty side's account open for the season. Jack Stewart as well, who opened the scoring for RPA Leichhardt in that game. And then final game of the night, Rockdale Linden, the local derby against St. George City. That'll be an absolute cracker. So if you've got no plans on this Saturday night, we've got you covered here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Stay in all night, just watch some great NPL action. Jordan Roberts' first time clearance was about to go out for a throw, but smartly kept in by Glaslock. Tariq Meyer with his first touch off the bench. Begin had the run of Zuvela, who backed off a little bit. De Oliveira went down that channel and the chance goes to nothing really. Another goal kick for the Sutherland Sharks. 2 Sharks are down. Daniel Wong. The Sharks will want to keep him out there as long as possible. The referee just telling Daniel Wong that he's got to step on the sideline, and the Sharks will temporarily be down to 10 for the time being. Is each of these famous long goal kicks. Push in the back from Adrian Vlastelica. He's not happy with that at all. And a free kick in dangerous territory now for Sydney United. I'm sorry, the Sutherland Sharks, I should say. United conceding the free kick. As the Sharks line up another substitution here. It's going to be Dylan Susovic, the former Marconi Stallion. Daniel Wong, stunning performance in his NPL debut for the Sharks. Impressed a lot of people, the number 58. Free kick's wasted a little bit, and now the other way, Sydney United with a chance. Tariq Meyer does really well to keep possession. He had 5 Sharks around him, and it was Peter Grossos in the end who got the finishing touch, and Mason Fernandez was away, but the referee calling a foul in the process. Under pressure again is Tariq Meyer. Vlastelica has to get rid of it. Possession coughed up again by the Sharks. Referee's been able to control this game pretty well, has to be said. Tempers flared a little bit at the start of the first half, but players getting on with the game. Obviously 2 very physical sides looking to assert their dominance, and both sides have had periods of dominance, it must be said, throughout both halves. The scoreline reflecting only one way at the moment, that being the way of the Sutherland Sharks. Sutherland only got 7 wins last season, but they're looking good to start off this season with a win as McGinn went up for the header. Just a little bit late there on Susovic, who's welcome to the game. Absolute clattering mid-air connection there with Liam McGinn. Quite an imposing character. He's probably going to feel that in the morning. You'll have a tough sleep tonight, you'd suggest. McGinn first time, trying to play it forward to Mason Wells, and Roberts is under a bit of pressure here. As well to get through 4 Sydney United defenders there. Jordan Roberts, the half-time substitute. Maki Petrados in the middle, inadvertently hitting his own teammate there, and Dylan Susovic. And Skatardis couldn't do enough there to give up possession, and Skatardis there again. I don't think Ante Juric was too happy with that, and not someone you'd want to get on the wrong side of Ante Juric. Ball pretty close to the sideline and smashing it towards him. I'm sure there'll be no hard feelings there, but Juric just not happy with it and letting him know about it. Zavella now. Nice little scorpion play through to Wells, and good hustle to get through to it. Another throw for Sydney United now. Looks like it's going to be the final substitution here. Anthony Krilic going to be coming on for Liam McGinn. Put in a great shift at right back. Did really, really well. If I've done my math correct, that is Sydney United 58 out of substitutions at the 70th minute mark. Made 2 subs at half time, the double substitution about 10 minutes ago, and Krilic as the final man to come off the bench. Zavella working hard to try and strip possession there. And just a little bit too much.
The players of Sydney United coming off was number 14, Liam McGinn, and coming on was number 16, Anthony Krilic.
Krilic, another one of those MacArthur Bulls that Joko Kalac pried away from the academy after departing in 2023. Early shot chance there from Katsuta. I believe his first shot of the game. He's been playing creator for the majority of it, but deciding to take matters into his own hands. And Prendergast, pretty routine save there. Long ball over the top, trying to find Mason Wells. Nizic almost caught out a little bit there. If Wells got onto that, he was going for it, and his defenders got it. And De Oliveira is going to go in the book. Late challenge there. Carlos De Oliveira. First Sydney United 58 player in the book. That is Jerry Skatardis down on the ground, needing a bit of treatment. As the players come to the sideline, get a quick drink, see a quick chat with Gaffer. The Sharks still with Arans, Aweta Tifi, and Adam Motor to come on. You'd expect Aweta Tifi to make his Sharks debut momentarily, being given some final instructions on the sideline by Steve Zoric. Zadi Motor goes through his final warm-ups as well, could potentially be a double sub. Oliveira trapped into space there on the sideline. Gives the ball up. The referee deeming it off a Shark, and it's going to go back the way of Sydney United 58. And a long, heavy touch there by Zuvella. Gives it back to the Sharks. He's got a chance to redeem himself now. Great first time ball to Mason Wells. Tries to give it back to the striker. It's deflected away. He's got a chance now if he can turn. Tries to find Krilic, and a bit of a mix-up between the 2 fresh substitutes on the right side. And it's Mo Ahmed with the goods, temporarily pausing that attack for the Sharks. Krilic, long throw over the top, try to find Maya. Into no man's land there. Now Grozos. Great ball to find Susovic. He's got pace to burn, but opts to go to Maki Petrados on the left. Great little touch around. This is a good bit of passage play here. Mason Fernandez ran into Michael Glaslock and Carlos de Oliveira on the ground, and Prendergast cleans it up, gets it away pretty quickly to Mason Wells. Zuvela. Maya try to play it out wide to Bailey Rule. Caught off guard, and Peter Grossos is down, and that'll likely be his final play of the game. Grossos back to his feet, and Zoric seems to have calmed his thoughts on the substitution for the time being. The Ruben Oweratifi does continue to lurk on the sidelines if Peter Grossos is unable to continue. So no changes in the scores around the ground. Obviously Sydney Olympic and St George Saints still tied at 1-1. The Spirit with a 1-0 lead over Sydney FC, and RPL Leichhardt still holding that one. Sorry, that is 1-1 of that game now. Spirit 2-2 with Sydney FC, and Sydney Olympic 2-1. You love to see when Flash Score doesn't update. A bit of my fault there. So plenty of movement around the grounds. No movement here though. Sharks took the lead, doubled their lead early in the second half and haven't really looked back. Glaslock trying to play that over the top to Mason Wells and just mistimed the run, mistimed the pass. Goal kick for the Sutherland Sharks. Like the crowd's distaste of Daniel Nizic has died down a little bit here in the second half. Pretty vocal in the first half. Welcoming back their former keeper. Susovic is pretty far on that left side, trucking back to get back in the middle of the park where he's largely been since coming on. Nizic, long clearance now. Bastalitza's header almost straight to the feet of Zuvela, and De Robillard, who hasn't had much involvement the last couple of minutes, finds himself at the centre of the play. United just been favouring this right side a little bit more. Fresh legs of Wells and Krilic. Tomilic switches it. Beautiful ball to find De Oliveira. De Robillard. Crowd not too happy with United not pushing forward straight away, but happy to reset and reevaluate to find another good option. Anthony Krilic cuts in on the left. Good work to find Tarek Meyer. Back to Krilic. Went for it. Defender missed it. Nizic with the save. And a corner for Sydney United 58. Tarek Meyer on corner duties now after a Carlos de Oliveira stint. Lasted most of the game. Meyer lands it perfectly in the middle. Falls even perfect. Just over the bar. Michael Glaslock. It's been the centre backs getting their chances from these corners. Just over the bar, and that's such a huge chance for Sydney United 58. You feel if they got that, then they had 10 minutes to fight back and get another one and potentially grab a point from this one. And Ruben Aweratifi will come on for his Sutherland Sharks debut. The former Blacktown City striker, joined on the field by a few of his fellow teammates, De Oliveira and Prendergast. As Peter Grossos will shift to the left. Dylan Susovic out on the right, and it's going to be Mason Fernandez. Put in a great shift today. Be coming off for Ruben Aweratifi. Looks like Marky Petrados is going to be in the number 10 role as well. In that front 3-4, if you will. Katsuta and Skatardis in the middle. Jordan Roberts, Mo Ahmed, Jacob Garner, and Lachlan McDonald, the back four. See Daniel Nizic in goals. That is the updated lineup for the Sutherland Sharks. Roberts, been impressive since coming on at half-time, replacing Matthew Morich, who was on a yellow card from the early stages. Krilic wins it back, plays it on the floor a little bit. Roberts seems to have gone out. Referees are saying play on. Tomilic, first-time ball, hits the back of Katsuta. Petrados, Aweratifi, thought about it first time, went across the face of goal, was trying to pick out Susovic. Probably not the best angle for goal, and I think he knew that. Just try to set his teammate up instead. The other way, Sydney United now. Zuvela. Try to finesse it into the top right corner there for De Oliveira, but Skatardis getting a touch to it. Krilic, first time cross, cleared away by Mo Ahmed. Baslock. Ball over the top, Mason Wells does well to control it, stays in but loses possession to Jordan Roberts. But the Sharks have just committed so many players back that every time they clear it out of danger, it just falls straight back into the possession of the hosts. They need to capitalise from this. De Oliveira goes for it, tries to go curling around the keeper, Daniel Nizic. First time effort. Didn't have the strength, but almost eluded Nizic, went through the legs and was able to collect it before it could do any danger. Trying to waste a bit of time putting it out there, but Zuvela, the fresh legs, says not today, mate. Wells trying to control that one, unsuccessful. With the rain, stayed away for most of the second half, coming back strong here in the final period of play. Aweratifi try to get past Krilic. One heavy touch, way too much. United really need to go for it now if they're to get a point from this at best. Wells, De Oliveira, good run. It's cornered by a couple of Sharks. Surrounded by Sharks, metaphorically and literally. This is Carlos De Oliveira. The visitors gain the ball back. Tarek Meyer now trying to find Zuvela first time, and the Sharks defensively been on it. It's been all Sydney United these last 5 minutes, pushing hard for a goal. It just seems seems like it's not going to happen for them today. Not necessarily back to the drawing board for Ante Juric, but definitely a lot to think about after this game. Can they do something special here? 5 minutes of regulation to go. Tomalic. Vlastelica. Kraslock did something similar in the first half. Took matters into his own hands with a darting run forward. Tomalic finds Wells. Gets past a couple. Deflected clearance. Back to the man who started it there, Tomalic. Robillard, great turn to get past McDonald, his former Bulls FC Academy teammate, and a long clearance by Garner way into the stands here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. I thought it was a throw at first, but it's going to be a corner for Sydney United 58. They've had 9 corners this game, a couple of really good chances. Daniel Nizic been caught into action on just about all of them. And that ball goes straight into Nizic. Headed chance, and it's in. It's Michael Glasslock. Gets Sydney United 58's first goal of the 2025 season. And this game is back on with 3 minutes to go of regulation. Jordan Roberts looks to have come off worse for wear from that. There was a bit going on at the moment. It looked like Zuvela.
Goal for Sydney United! Scored by number 17, Michael Glassick. Sydney United 1. Sharks FC 2. Come on, let's have a big final few minutes.
3 minutes to go. Sharks with one more sub to use if they need it. Sharks with 2 minutes of regulation to defend this 1-goal lead. And Sydney United look motivated and hungry for an equaliser. What a turn of events this would be. Zuvela. Just too many Sharks back for the time being. And Tomalic with a bit of a late challenge. He'll find himself in the book. Doesn't mind a yellow card, Anthony Tomalic. Usually finds himself with a couple of suspensions throughout the year. Trying to ask the linesman where to take the free kick. Put in the book for time wasting, and don't the Sydney United faithful love that. This is just free kick out without a touch from the Sharks. And Skatardis either cramping or got a bit of a nick because he is not in a great way, walking very gingerly. You just see the afterburners being put on here by the Sharks. Everything that they have left in the tank, they're going to put out to protect this 1-goal lead. Tariq Meyer now, great chance for the host. At the back stick was almost for de Robillard. And Bailey Rule saves it from going out for a corner. McDonald was hot on his tail. De Robillard safely to Tomalic, who sends it back through de Robillard. Mason Wells. Going to go for the win. Mason Wells! An absolute worldie from Mason Wells! Sydney United 58 have rescued a point out of absolutely nowhere.
What an absolute screamer by number 23, Mason Wells!
What an insane start to the season.
Sharks FC 2. It's out of time, so come on United!
They just don't write scripts like this anymore. It's such a football cliche. But Mason Wells with an insane curling effort to make it 2-2 to Sydney United. And there is 6 minutes of added time here.
Put up 6
All the
minutes
momentum
of
with the host.
time.
They couldn't steal it now, could they? A 6-minute turnaround has seen it gone from 2-0 to 2-2. They are the kings of the late comeback here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. Mason Wells makes a great run at it. Taken out by Jordan Roberts. You can hardly hear yourself in here. The atmosphere is electric. Roberts will go into the book. Mason Wells will want to live that one back again for sure. That was just... From the angle he hit it, we had a really good view of it up here in the commentary box, and you just never thought it was going in. Nizic probably thought the same. And he got so much curl on it. Everyone, just about everyone back for the Sharks. Myers, ball in. Tomalic's header! He scores a goal once every blue moon. And a headed chance there, looped straight into the arms of Daniel Nizic. And the referee halting play for the time being. As it looked like just restarting play. And giving us all a chance to calm down. 4 minutes of injury time remaining. Just about anything could happen. The Sharks haven't had an attack in a while. It's all Sydney United 58. And Awada Tifi fouling Glasslock in the process of that header. Giving United 58 one more chance to go forward here. Wells, great first time ball to Tarek Meyer. Tomalic, Savella, pockets picked. And Meyer does really well to get that one back. Almost looked like a double foul there. Grozos and Meyer. Great win back there. Tomalic pushing the counter-attack now. Meyer almost threw to Wells. Excellent stop there by Jordan Roberts. Stopping a sure 101 there for Mason Wells. This game has just absolutely flipped on its head in a matter of minutes. We've seen this countless times from Sydney United. Grilic. Mason Wells. Just under 3 minutes to go here. Coughed up by Di Oliveira. Vlastelica was probably going for the tactical foul there on Katsuta, with the referee playing the advantage. Now the Sharks with a chance to win it. Great challenge by Bailey Rule. And a yellow card for Adrian Vlastelica.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to come up to the club. Steve Timanovic is on the harmonica tonight, so let's party.
Insane opening game for both sides. Is it going to end in a 2-2 draw? Is one of these two sides Going to steal it at the death. Sharks, possibly their last chance. Popped up pretty easily there, and Prendergast wasting no time getting this one out. Krilic with a bit of space down on the right here if he wants. Plays it straight through. It's a mixture between Zuvela and Wells onto that one. Cleared away, but straight back to the sender. Anthony Krilic. Robillard's touch, not strong enough, and out for a throw. And under 30 seconds of injury time remaining here. Grozos. Jordan Roberts. Susovic waited for the ball to come to him, and Krilic got there first. And that's going to be the end of proceedings here. 6 minutes of injury time. Sydney United 58 drags it out of the mud.
Great comeback by the home team
comeback.
To finish 2-2 with
6 minutes of regulation, 2 goals. A goal
Sydney
for Michael
United are
Glasslock,
away on the road
screamer
for the
from
next
Mason
2 weeks,
Wells.
away to
2-2 draw.
Sydney
That's all
FC
she
Youth
wrote.
and away to Manly before a home match here on March 1 against Western Sydney Wanderers Youth. 5 p.m. kickoff.
Be happy with the point.
Scores from
Sydney
other
United
grounds.
more than the Sharks.
Progress scores. Spirit 2,
Sydney
Sydney
up to
FC
2-0
2,
lead.
Alpia 1, Wollongong 1, and the
Thanks
other
for joining us on the
full-time
New South Wales
scoreline
YouTube page.
was Western Sydney Wanderers Youth 1, Mount
Stick around
Druitt
for
1,
the next 2
and
games.
Sydney Olympic are leading St George Saints by 2 goals to 1.
St George.
See you back here on March 1. Don't forget, we'll see you up in the club in a few minutes. Thank you.